Well, welcome to another inspiring episode of Heart to Heart. My name is Cindy, your host. Today's guest is the phenomenal Ekwutosinam Cynthia Okeh, also known as Ekwy. She's a trailblazing Nigerian woman entrepreneur in technology and the visionary founder of the Digital Witch Support Community. And she's here to share her incredible story. Ekwy, how are you doing?
I'm
Welcome.
fine. I'm fine, Cindy. I'm fine. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. We're so happy to have you here. And thank you for taking the time to come on Heart to Heart to share your story. Um, Ekwy, your reputation precedes you as an entrepreneur. I'm
Yeah.
going to say a trailblazing Black woman in tech, a true change
Thank you.
agent, a true change agent. And I mean it because beyond the incredible work you're doing with the digital reach support community, impacting countless lives, I'd like to take a moment to delve into your past, shall we?
Yeah, we shall.
Um, can you take us back to your childhood? Who is Ekwutosinam? What was life like growing up where you did? So, share a little bit about your background, touching on aspects such as family, educational background, and career path.
Okay, so basically, uh, I'm the first child of eight children, and coming from the kind of family I'm from, that is like, should I say, I wouldn't say poor, like if there's
Hmm.
anything less than that, but then family that everybody you can actually feed. And growing up, I can say that as a baby or as a young child, I didn't have it very difficult because as the first child there weren't many people to take care of, and the little resources could go around, so I didn't really find it difficult. But as the family kept growing, I remember at some point in my life I was handed over to an uncle who took me to Makodi, that is another state in Nigeria, where he also handed me over to his friend, or that, should I call it a maid, right? So I was living in his house, and staying in that house was, should I say, the most dreadful moments of my growing up or my childhood, because when you are living with someone who is not your parent, and maybe sometimes the wife tend to treat you like you don't deserve
Hmm.
any kind of good thing of life, right? So growing up like to that level wasn't really a memorable one. It's not something that I really wish to remember. Then I also remember maybe after my secondary school, I had to go back to my parents, and I think life wasn't that easy considering then we already like we should be like six, and the family is still increasing. But then, having finished my secondary, I was able to attend a very good secondary school. And having finished that, I also went to university within
Hmm.
our state, where I studied literature as my first degree. I studied literature, so I'm a literary student. And I would rather say that I started taking good care of myself, or started taking care of myself very quite early, because like I said, there's some kind
Hmm.
of ambition you people from a very poor family shouldn't have. But people like me, like I would say that I have a very big, should I say, I'm an ambitious woman. So in the kind of family I grew up, people wasn't expecting to have big dreams. So it was more like you graduate from secondary school, you you
Hmm.
get married, and probably you support your younger ones, or like everybody, just nature, and everybody around you are getting married. So the normal thing or that is expected of you to do, or the society expectation of you to just get married like every other person and find a way to support the family. But then I'm not cut out for such life, and my father is also a strong-willed man. He wasn't cut out for giving out his children so early out for marriage. So we just have to find a way to hustle it out. So uh first of all, I remember my dad selling his bike. to pay my
Oh,
first
wow.
school fees, and that was the hardest moment of my life when I finally got admission to study literature. Watching him sell that bike, and not just watching him sell the bike, watching the person who bought the bike drove the bike all the time past our house keep breaking my heart until
Wow.
like I graduated. For each time I saw that bike, because to me that was one of the biggest luxury he owned, and it also
Mm.
make his maybe sometimes he travels, so it makes his traveling and all that kind of uh what should I call it, all that kind of errands that he runs for people easy for
Yeah.
him. But then he had to sell the bike to be able to
Wow.
raise some part of my school fees, so that was like a hard nut to crack. So and finally I got admission. I was able to hustle out the remaining part of my school fees because I had to go to school and also have to find other short time jobs that I can do to fend for myself, because of course, sometimes, that kind of family, you are coming home to come and connect or ask for school fees, and when you get home you're actually looking at everybody, and even the one you have, this little one you have to give it to them so that they can feed. So it was that very terrible. But in all of this, I actually think it's part of the things that made me who I am, because when you think about it and you
Mm.
want to give up, you know where you are coming from and you sincerely do not want to go back there. So when I finally finished my university, I went for my NYC, which is like a 1 year compulsory service after graduation in Nigeria. And my only dream then was just to go back to school, maybe for my masters. I also applied for my masters and I actually got the admission to go back to school immediately in my service. But that dream couldn't come through. Why? Because just a week after my service, my dad passed. More like
Mm.
cutting my own dream short. But you know, and like I said, as the first child, I was really, really pampered. Like I was spoiled, and even though there was no money, I say act like a spoiled brat, like because I somehow I always have a way of getting what I want, no matter how little.
You're the
So
first child.
yeah, out of 8 children. So when he passed, it was more like you are going to bed as a child or as a young girl who only concern in life is just to take care of your own self. You already accepted the fact that you are from a home that no matter how much they try, they cannot take care of everyone. But you as an adult, you have taken that responsibility to care for yourself. But then you are okay caring for yourself, but you don't know what life have in stock for you. So you just go to bed bubbling, thinking about how to care for yourself. And the next day you wake up with the responsibility of caring for 7 more people. Like that is a lot. And that is just how
And how old
my
were you?
I
How
I
old were you
was
then?
I was 23. Yeah. I was 23, 24. I just hit 24. Yeah.
Wow. So, so your dad passed. I'm very sorry about that.
Thank you.
You find yourself, you felt a profound responsibility
Yeah.
as the driving force for your seven siblings because you're the first
And
child
my mom, that
and
is it.
and your mother
Yeah, because she was,
and your mother.
apparently she was a stay-at-home mom. She wasn't working, and I think that made it very, very difficult. And our last born at the time was barely 5 years old, right? So it was really, really, really a difficult moment for everyone. So I just felt this compulsion, like you are the only graduate, you are the only one that can get a job that can help every other person. So going back to school to me felt like I was making a selfish decision, more like you are
Mm.
selfish, even though I know that I wasn't selfish, but being the person I am, I'm very, very much family oriented. So I felt like if I'm to go back to school, it's more like you are, yeah, okay, you finish your secondary, you finish your university, then your younger ones are still in primary school, nursery school, maybe junior secondary school. Then if I decide to go back to school, I know that I can fend for myself because of course I can take care of myself. But then it means that the other people they can't take care of themselves, so they need to drop out. And I felt obligated that this is not the kind of life my father would have wanted for everyone. So I
Mm.
had to, wear his regalia. I was like, okay, fine, no problem. Maybe I can just get a job and I can always go back to school. So that was how I had to, even though then, even when I was serving before my dad death and co, I already have people calling me to come and work for them, to come for interview. But I bluntly told them that I sincerely do not want to work for anybody. I want to go back to school. But after this incident, I just have to start reaching out to people like, okay, I need a job now. When something happened and this kind of humbles you, so I'll be like,
Absolutely.
okay, I need a job, no matter how much the amount, like that. And that was how I left my state to Lagos State, another state in Nigeria, and I got my first job and now focus on my family, taking care of my family. So that's
Wow.
just that.
So at 23, you found yourself taking care of your entire family, your seven
Exactly.
siblings, your mother. And so, how did that experience influence your entrepreneurial journey?
Okay,
You
so
got the
first of
job, you got the job, and then
Okay,
what
so
was
so
next?
first, so f- firstly, the job I got was in a real estate company as
Mm,
an office admin, and the job kind of okay, because I wasn't staying in Lagos, so I have no place to stay. So the job gave me a house, like a self-contained, a very small house, like a room, and also the salary was to pay me 65,000 naira. That 65,000 naira should be less than $50 now per
oh,
month.
mm,
And the agreement was that all the amounts they spent in renting an apartment for me, they are going to deduct that from the salary every month. So they had to plus
wait
minus
a minute.
everything.
From the $50 that you were
Yes,
getting
yes, yes.
monthly. Oh my goodness.
So at the end of the month, when they deduct whatever they want to deduct, my take home then should be like maybe $25. But then I was happy because, like I said, the fact that I have a roof over my head means a lot. And
Yeah.
the 25,000 naira that I get at the end of the month, I also kind of find other things I do. Like I was, selling stuff online. At some point
Mm,
I was selling okpa. Okpa is like a special food that
mm,
my community people kind of are known for. At some point I was also selling palm oil. Like I was just doing so many businesses online just to survive and ensure that I'm paying my younger one's school fees. And so one day I also, because it's a real estate company, I got someone to buy a property from us, and for every buyer you get, the company gives you like 10%. So I got this
mm.
woman who bought a property and she was paying us on installment, and for every month she pays like 2 million naira, I get 10%. So at some point it was as if I was earning more because of the 10%. So that kind of made my life a bit easier. But when I was working in that office, I just felt like, because I'm growing up, I can say that I'm a very smart woman. I'm very intelligent in
Absolutely.
school and all of that. So I felt like I was wasting in the office. I was underperforming, or
Mm,
like I feel I can do more. But the office kind of placed some level of limitations on me. It says all I just have to do, come to work every morning, sit down, wait for people to call me, or reach out to people. Like I was literally not using my brain, and I felt some kind of way. I felt like I can actually do more. So what
wow.
happened was, I used to, when I come to work, we have internet, we have TV. So I just on the TV, watch TV, and wait when somebody call me, or wait when I need to call somebody. So I was watching TV. There's this reality show that was happening on YouTube. Having finished watching an episode, this Indian guy's channel just pop up, and the guy was talking about cloud computing, and I was like, which one is cloud computing again? Because I know of cloud, and my idea of cloud is maybe when it wants to rain, and or just cloud. And I was like, okay, let me pay attention. And I started listening to what he was saying. And after listening to him for like, I think 30 minutes, I was like, interesting. I was like, ah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I need to know this. When you hear something I've never heard about, had it been he was saying something about computer, this maybe I might couldn't have been interested in what he's saying. But then talking about cloud computing and all the stuff he was saying, I was kind of interested, and I subscribed to his channel. And when
Okay.
I got home, I started using my phone to watch other, like, his old videos, and I was learning. So every day I come to work, I just go to his channel and start watching. Every single day I come to work, I go to his channels. I didn't have a laptop, so I wasn't even practicing, but I just liked listening to what he's saying, seeing his demonstrations, like that, like that, like that. Then, having done this for, like, I think 2 to 4 months, I can't remember how long, I I had this concern with my one of the person working for the company, and the lady was told the man that hired me, that she needs to go and she needs to go out to the field. She needs to be a marketer leader. And I was like, okay, if you want me to go and become a marketer, who is giving me transportation? Like, do you want me to be transporting myself, looking for people to buy property from the same 20,000, 25,000 I am earning monthly, or from where? Like, I needed to understand that. I said, okay, fine, no problem. And I reached out to a friend of mine who works in a hiring company,
Mm-hmm.
and I told him, guy, I need a job. And this time around, I want a job that has to do with cloud computing. To be sincere, when I was taking
Wow.
that course or when I was listening to this guy, I don't even know there are jobs that has to do with cloud computing. But I just felt like maybe I should try my luck. And when I told him, it happened that Microsoft
Mm.
were trying to create their support center in Nigeria. They are, moving
Wow.
their support center in Nigeria, and this the same company were hiring for Microsoft. So when I reached out to him, and I was like, okay, fine, you should send me your CV. That this company moving to Nigeria that they are currently hiring for. Maybe I can find a way to shortlist you for their interview.
Mm.
And that was how I sent my CV. This happened around 3 a.m. in the morning. This is a guy that normally he doesn't even reply to somebody's chat. He doesn't respond. But I was so shocked that he responded to me that very day. So I now sent my my CV and everything. And the next morning, I got a call from them, and that was the call that woke me up. And the call was like, "Okay, you are shortlisted for an interview for technical support,
Wow.
engineer for Microsoft under their cloud computing platform." And I was like, "Wow!" And it was like
So
a
so
dream, because already
so
for
that's
someone that
how
studied literature,
so
eh?
that's how you so that's how you got into the IT
Yeah,
world. Okay.
exactly. Yeah, so that was how first of all, when I got the news, I was excited, but a part of me wasn't that confident because, like I said, I studied literature, and the field is male dominated field. And apart from being a
Mm.
male dominated field, the field is also for those that have the role is for those that have experience, those that studied computer science, computer engineering, and so on and so forth. But this is me, not even a science student, but a literature student. So I was like,
Exactly.
I don't even have experience. Like, if it is for them to hire based on experience and qualification, I'm not sure I'm
Mm.
anywhere close. But then when I went for the interview, we were so many, and they just needed like 50 people for the first hiring, and we're more than 300. So my spirit was dampened more. So, but then during the interview, we had like 6 or 5 different stages of interview. So they kept
Oh,
reducing the
wow.
number. And I got to the final stage. And when I got to the final stage, the woman that was interviewing me now said something to the man next to me. Said, "You see what I told you? Hadn't been we sent her back based on her performance on the technical part, maybe we wouldn't have gotten someone like her. Can you see how bright she is?" The way he said it, and I was like, because almost everybody I did, most of them have gone, because once they send you home, that means you're not qualified for the next stage. So I was like, I'll just listen to what he's saying. But because one thing about me is that when it comes to talking, I'm very, very confident. But maybe other skills, the ones I don't have them. But when it comes to you giving me the opportunity to
Express.
talk,
Yeah.
or you listen to me talk, I have this level of confidence that will make you think that hiring me will be the best thing that will happen to your company. And after that
That's
interview,
how you
they were
sell
like,
yourself. That's how
Yeah,
you sell
I know how to
yourself during a job
exactly. I know how to
interview.
sell myself.
Yeah.
So after speaking to her, she was okay, fine, that they will get back to us. And after like 2 weeks, they started calling us, and that was how I got the job. When I got the job and entered the working space, I was like, I felt like this is me or this is God doing, because I don't deserve to be here. Because looking at
Mm,
everybody, most of them have been working in the telecommunication as a support person. Some have like 10 years experience, some like study computer science, like that. And this is me. I was just the only person from arts, field, and not just arts, literature. There, like I was just there. But then during the training, I also put myself out there, and I was one of the best students after the training. However, another significant thing that happened was when I finally started working, I got to see the space as a school for me. So I was like, I need to be good. I
wow.
don't just want to be good. I want to be the best. I want, when people call my name, I should be their go-to person. Maybe when they need help to do stuff, I should be one of those people they want to go to get support from. And I had to start learning. I had to start learning how to program. I had to start learning other technical skills. I had to start learning like so many things that other colleagues were not interested in. And it was there that over time, like I was there for like 3 years, almost 3 years.
Wow.
And during COVID, I had to dive into taking more certifications to
Mm,
ensure that I'm not just learning those skills, but I'm also learning is based on international standard. And
yeah.
that was that. So after
Wow.
like 3 years, I had to leave and be like, because during COVID, Microsoft actually kept us in the hotel for a very long time, all through the lockdown. So people stayed in the hotel for 6 months, 3 months. I think even stayed for a year. So during those time, I was taking courses and I was enjoying the remote work, the whole opportunities that come with remote work. I was like, wow. So when they asked us to go back to the office, I was like, okay, fine. I don't want to go back to the office. I think I should try working remotely. And that was now when I started applying for remote jobs, and I got one that paid me so well and gave me the opportunity to be like, okay, wow, I think a lot of Nigeria need to enjoy this. And that was that.
Wow. Oh, oh, I tell you. Oh my goodness, that's incredible. So you talked about so was that was an American company that came to Nigeria, an American tech company that came to Nigeria and recruited Nigerian workers, right? And so you got the job, and that's how you got into the tech, this tech world. But my next question is, and I think, you're going to talk more about the digital witch support community, which is this community that you created. And I think you're doing amazing, incredible job. You're impacting lives, like I said early on. And so, and how, what, first of all, what is the digital witch support community? What it is, what do you do, and what inspired you to start that? I know you just went through a whole story, but what inspired you to start the digital witch support community, and how did the idea come about?
Okay, so basically, as digital witch support community, what we do there is to train people. It's like a learning management system, that is NMS, where we train people on demand skills. So basically, in Nigeria, what everybody or graduates, everybody in what is in everybody's list, like graduate, like there are no jobs. There are the jobs that are even available. You need to know people before you can get through those jobs. But the truth, or based on what I have observed, sometimes there are jobs, but job seekers lack the skills
Mm,
that will make them to be employable, because the world has grown beyond analog, like doing manual stuff. You need digital skills. You need to know how to use computers. You need to know how to use softwares. You need to know how to use CRMs. You need to know how to use a lot of stuff to make your work easier. You also need all these skills to do what, to enable you to not limit yourself to the Nigerian labor market. Okay, let's all agree that
mm,
there are no jobs in Nigeria. So if there are no jobs in Nigeria, then check somewhere else. There are other places there are jobs. So you don't need to limit yourself. So the idea of digital, which is that we teach you on demand skills on, like, how to become a virtual assistant, customer support, tech sales, or email management specialist, um, appointment center, NBIB specialist, scheduler, telemarketers, need generation expert, and so many others. Like at the end of the training, you're expected to function in many roles because, of course, as a
Mm.
virtual assistant, I do tell my students that as a virtual assistant, there is no unique um role like I say, oh, as a virtual assistant, I'm just no. As a virtual assistant, what determines your role is what the person who you are working for asks you to do. As a virtual assistant, I can ask you, okay, join this meeting. As a virtual assistant, I can ask you, please, can you book an appointment for me? As a virtual assistant, I can't just anything your manager or the person who you are work supporting or assisting is doing, we apparently determine what you are going to do. So you can be a lawyer and still work as a virtual assistant in a law firm. You can be a health specialist and still work as a virtual assistant in a telehealth company. You can be an accountant and still work as an account executive or virtual assistant, accounting. So there's a lot you can do. So we try to teach you all these on-demand skills that will enable you not just to focus on Nigeria labor market, but also to focus on the international market. Because, of course, we may not be earning exactly what those international guys are earning based on their living standard, but what we are earning is far, far better than what we could have earned if you are working for Nigerian companies, right? So there's no way you should be like, oh, there are no job when you have skills or when you can learn skills and just work from the comfort of your home. So that's basically
Wow.
what digital witch. And we don't just train you, we also provide support. The kind of support at the end of the training, you are already a part of a large community where you continually keep getting support. We support you on, or if there's other opportunities we get to share with the community. If you need help with preparation for your interview or anything at all, you can report it in the group and somebody will be there to support or to assist you. So that's basically what we do. Then for what inspires digital wage, I would say that maybe it's my mom. It's
Oh.
my mom on the other side, and also all the stories I've been hearing online, like on Facebook, for instance.
Mm.
So my mom on the other side, the fact that she was a full-time housewife with no job
Mm.
is enough inspiration. Because
Wow.
imagine a situation whereby my mom is working and earning money, or she's doing a business and earning well, and my father dies. It will
Mm.
not fall on me to take care of the rest of the family. It's her responsibility as the mother, right?
That's
But
right.
even though within her mind, she's still doing little she can, but it's not enough. So having seen what she went through as a young widow, and a young widow with no job, with no business, is enough for me to be like, this can happen to anybody. Then that is within my own family, what I'm experiencing at home. Then you come online, you see so many people complaining of domestic violence, complaining of so many emotional abuse, mentally abuse, like this. They were complaining a lot of, especially married women, and most of them will end their story with, "I could have loved to leave this house or this marriage, but I'm not financially capable of taking care of myself, or I'm not financially capable of taking care of the kids." So each time I read these stories, I kind of feel sorry for them. I'll be like, but there are things that women or these women can actually do to sustain themselves, to help their family. Because to some extent, I also try to understand the male folk. More like, there are some men that are not really, really terrible women, but when the burden of the family is too much on them, it's kind of bring us the wolves, the monsters in them, and they start acting weird because maybe the burden is too much. But if they have a supporting wife, maybe they could have been a better husband. So I'd be like, okay, fine. Maybe these people, it should be something that I Equitas can do to help and make people like my mom, maybe young widows like my mom, should be able to get job to support their family, or maybe these young married women that are subjugated by their husband, or that sincerely wish to support their family, their husband, should be able to, do so from their home or from anywhere. They should just have the right skills to be able to support their family. And I came up one day on Facebook. Then I was already working and I wasn't earning so well. And I came to Facebook. I was like, okay, I want to teach what I do.
Mm.
Already, a lot people on Facebook already know that I was into IT because they keep seeing my updates, my journey, like that. So they already know what I do. So I just came on Facebook. I was like, okay, I want to teach what I do, and I'm wondering if any of you would be interested if I decide to organize a class. And a lot of women, because my focus then was on women. So a lot of women now, be like, okay, fine, that they will be interested if it's not going to take much of their time, if it's not going to be too expensive, that they'll be interested. And I said, okay, fine, no problem. That when I create my content, I'm going to let everybody know. That was it. And it took me another 1 month to start creating because I didn't even know what to teach. I didn't even know what to create. But I know that I wanted it to be in the support part because, of course, my job or my role description in my company is IT support. So I just wanted the name to be in that line. So I just, okay, fine. And one morning, it was as if something pushed me out of the bed and I sat on my work table. I didn't go back to my bed until I finished writing my training content. And I was like 8 hours. Like I sat down for 8 hours writing
Wow.
or trying to create my training content. Having done that, I had to go back on Facebook again. I said, okay, fine, the training content is ready and we are open for registration. If you're interested, you should start planning to register. And that was how we get started. And our first section, we had like 30 something students. I think we had like 34 students. That was for the first section. Then after the first section, few students got jobs. And when I posted the testimonies on Facebook, the guys, that is the men, they were like, you every time you guys keep talking about subjugation of women, inequality, equality, all this stuff. Now you want to do something that will benefit everybody, and you are just, working with the women. That is not fair to all concerned. I said, okay, fine. If you're interested to join, you can join the next session, irrespective of your gender. And the next section, we we had like 40 something students. So the
Wow.
number keep increasing. So I think the third section or the third class, like at some point we had 150, 130. Then I think my eureka moment was in April. I think no, in October 2021, I had I had 400, or no, I think I had like 300 and something students, and that was
Wow.
that was that was like wow moment for me. When you're
Wow.
having less than 200, then in a month you now had like 300. I was like, wow.
That's
I was
amazing.
even scared of not being able to handle the number, and I was like,
Yeah.
what is this? Then after that month, the November of 2021, I had 1,000, 250, 250, 250 into 250, 250 into 5 is 1,000. So I had like
Wow.
1,200 or 250, something like that, for just a month. And I was able to
Within
handle.
a month. Within a month.
Yeah, that's like a month. Like a month, I had like 1,000 plus for a month, and I was like, "What is happening?" And and I was still working full time for my companies, and like the training is just a side hustle. Until even now, it's still a side hustle because, of course, I still work for companies. So, and having done that, we keep getting positive uh news, positive reviews from our students. A lot of people were getting job offers and so on and so forth. And currently, like this month, the month of January, I have 2,000 plus students currently in my class. So
Wow.
I've been the
So
one
let,
trying
let
to.
me let me recap here because you've said a lot, and I really want people to see um, the magnitude, the impact that you're making within Nigeria, even outside of Nigeria, because you have students from not just from Nigeria but from all over the world, and so you saw the digital world as an opportunity to teach, train, and equip students with skills to be able to pick up jobs from
Yeah,
from anywhere in the world and
exactly.
work in the comfort of their homes. I think
Yeah,
this is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Um, you're changing the lives of men and women and families. Because you just talked about how it's very difficult to, to get jobs in, in Nigeria. But what you wanted is, you didn't want people to be limited to Nigeria only, because you can find jobs, virtually in other countries. So anyways,
Yeah.
you contributing to the economy of Nigeria right now.
Exactly.
The
Sometimes I feel
the,
like
the president
if
of
they're counting people
Nigeria,
bringing in dollars, if they're counting people bringing in dollars to Nigerian economy, I think I should be on the top list because literally I have trained more than 30,000 people, and
wow.
at least 20,000 are working, irrespective of how little the job might be. I also have those who are earning up to $5,000 monthly. And Nigeria now,
Wow.
to even see $1 is hard because man, $1 is almost 1,200 naira. That is a lot. So, and I'm bringing in dollars to the country. So I think we are doing a great job,
And
actually.
that's why your story was so captivating, because of, beyond just, creating opportunities for men and women, you actually making an impact, you're contributing to the overall economy of Nigeria, because you just talked about your journey evolved from teaching a modest class of 34 students to an impressive number of 2,000 students. And that was
Yeah.
what, within a span of how many months there? But it's incredible. And you've also mentioned that since you started the digital witch support community, you've taught over 32,000 students.
There should be more. I said
I mean,
30 plus. Because last, like for instance, last year I said I've taught 30,000. This year alone I've taught like I've added like 2,000 plus again. And next month again I'm already adding almost 1,000 plus another 1,000. I will add it up. So I think at this junction I have trained more than 35 or more.
that's
Yeah, it's just
amazing.
going.
That's amazing. So talk to me about the challenges. Um, Talk to me about the challenges. Did you encounter challenges when um, creating this company that you've created, this community?
Okay, so basically, I'm not sure there's anything that you want to build that doesn't come with a lot of challenges.
That's right.
But apart from even building digital, which I think even growing my career normally, at some point in my life, I remember telling God one thing, and that was, Father, I am tired. Please, I need
Mm,
your help. And even if you don't pity me, I can't forget that prayer. And I said, God, even if you cannot pity me, please, for the sake of my mother, for the sake of my siblings, please pity me. That this is not the kind of life I want for myself and my siblings. And what made me say that prayer was I was really, really frustrated. I was working in that the same company. I was so happy that I got the job. But then the workload, I was just working on a lonely part that night around 1 a.m., going home from work. And the lonely part is filled with dubious people. It rained heavily that the road was flooded. It was as if I was walking in the midst of a river. And I had to say that prayer. And it was
mm,
after saying that prayer, and I felt like I've given up on everything. May God just take control because I felt like there's nothing else I can do. So I was still working. So when I started digital witch, I felt I have seen it all. Like I've seen worst. So I
mm,
wasn't really, really considering most of the roadblocks as something being setback, or I can't even put them in that uh uh space because I've seen worse before creating the community. And just not just I studied literature, I also studied education, right? So
mm,
professionally, I'm a teacher, and having to talk to people is something I actually love doing, right? So the only place I will say that I do have anxiety sometimes is
mm,
when I want to start a new class. Each time I want to start a new class, I have this anxiety. I don't know if it's the expectations of, because at the moment I get to have a lot of big people people that are older than you, people that are richer than you, people that, those that normally you should be looking up to them, but you have them as students. And you'll
Mm,
be looking like, you be, you know, God, how do I handle these people? How do I say this thing in this way so that I don't offend these people? So I kind of have this anxiety built up for the first few days of each new class. Like if I want to start a new class tomorrow, a few days to the class, I'll be having this anxiety, I'll be scared, I'll be, a lot of things will be going on in my head. Then on the day of the class, I'll just say, fuck shit, they are my students, you are the teacher, I need to be in charge. And I'll see myself being a teacher. So I think that is where I have concerns. And sometimes to control adults is hard. When
mm,
you tell children, please stop making noise, please don't do this, the child will be scared of you and they will stop doing it. But when you tell adults, even before you tell them, you have to find a way to keep your mouth so that they will not say you are insultive, or
mm,
you have to find a way to write your words so that they don't feel like you are down. Like there's just so much, and people, even when you do not want to say something, like okay, everybody here is adult, I expect everybody to know what to do, but it's not always like that. So all these things kind of mess up with my head. But the sweetest part is when you see these people winning, you can't
mm.
forget all this stress. Like I keep telling my students that the only way I measure my own success is through their success. Because if
Wow.
at the end of my training you are not achieving anything, you are not successful, it's kind of boils down to me not being a good teacher or not doing enough. So I want everybody to succeed. So it's kind of helped me, you know, have this mindset of, irrespective of how the whole noise, the whole thing, the brouhahas happening in the groups are, I'm always looking forward to what the training will bring to them. Like I look forward to seeing their life changing. I look forward to receiving their reviews. I look forward to seeing, like last year alone, more than 50, these are the people I know of, relocated out of Nigeria. And these people are people who joined my training. Some of them couldn't even afford to pay our fees. Like our fee is not even up to $20. But some of them couldn't afford to pay it. But these are the people who are able to pay thousands of pounds, thousands of euro, pounds, thousands of naira to relocate out of Nigeria because they did our training, got a better jobs, and are able to to live that dream that they always wanted or wish to. So it's kind of helped me to overlook all other stress difficulties that I'm experiencing while running the community. And again, sometimes as an entrepreneur, you have expectations, and like me, I have expectations. So sometimes when those expectations, maybe expectation like, okay, this month I have 1,000 students, so next month I'm expecting 1,000 students, but you should, what if you don't have up to 200 students? So what I do basically is to come with an open mind. If I have, I have. If I don't have, fine. I'll just teach those I have. I'll use other good days to be like, okay, fine. Last month I had 2K. This month 1K is not bad. Then you just keep going. Then maybe you have to sit back and try to re-strategize. Oh, how do I get more students next time? Or do you get so? And I also feel if you are doing well, your students should also be able to recommend you, refer people to you,
Absolutely.
because of course life
And you
is
know
easier
what?
when everybody's earning. Yeah.
Um, I love what you said early on. You measure your success by the success of your students. That's
Yeah.
powerful. Um,
Thank you.
I'm stealing that line, all right? But here's what I'm just gonna read a few things that your students have said, some of the feedback, um, that you are a blessing to today's generation. You've impacted my life. You've changed, I mean, you've changed my family. You've changed it. You have countless success stories. And the other one that I like, yeah, you're doing an amazing job. They call you Lemonade.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Okay, so lemonade, just like lemon, and if you paid attention to
Lemonade.
my story, it's more like, when you make lemonade out of all the lemons that life have thrown at you. So that is just that for me. So maybe
I loved
previously my
it.
life was filled with lemons, and somehow you find a way around it and use all those lemons to make a lemonade. So that is it.
I love it. I love it. I mean, um, out of all those countless success stories, can you share a specific success story that stand out to you?
Wow. Well, for me, I think I have a lot of success stories and I have a lot of them, thousands of them that stood out for me. But one that kind of made me cry, or maybe because it's very, very relatable to my own story, is for a girl. There was a lady who said, the way she puts the success story, she said something like, her mom. Anyway, my mom was never a borrower. My mom is a contented woman. So, but
Hmm.
the part that got me is she said her mom is always living in debt. So she's always borrowing from people, doing this. I think she already lost her mom, and they were not even living in a very good house. Me personally, I didn't grow up in a very nice house, so I had to build a house for my family. So, but after the training, she got a job. And she's also married, but her husband is not also doing well. But after the training, she got this job that the job is paying almost, I think, almost 3 or 4 million naira. So her family is not just living well. That is her immediate family
And
with
what
her
what
husband.
can you translate that to dollars? 4 million
That dollar should be
naira.
like $4,000 monthly.
Okay. Mm.
So, and this is someone that wasn't earning anything at all. Like she wasn't making any money at all before joining the community. Then from joining the community, she was able to clear all her mom's debts and started building a structure. I can't remember the exact gist, whether she completed the structure already before she shared the gist or she was building it then. Then she also said something about her mom doesn't need to ask. That each time her mom called for money, she only asks the mom, how much do you need? So that
Wow.
kind of make me so, because this is part of the reasons why I started the community in the first place. I want women to be financially empowered. Like there's this level of confidence that money gives. And money is not everything, but I keep telling people money, apart from debt or so many other small things, yes, it's just better you have money. Every other thing can, money can just be like in support. Like I don't know how to explain it, but money gives you, especially women, as a woman, money gives you some level of confidence that nothing else will give you. When you are incapacitated, but you remember you have money to, okay, now, for instance, let me put it this way: it's like you want to lick ice cream. No matter how much this ice cream is hungry you, or you are thirsty for ice cream, if you don't have money, you don't have money. You can't go and steal money. But if you want ice cream and you can afford it, it's a matter of a phone call. Please, can you deliver ice cream in so place? And it's done. Or if you have money, like, okay, like I said, some people were like, I'm going through a lot. I want to live, but I cannot afford to live a comfortable life. I can't take care of myself and my siblings. But when having money as a woman will not stop you from being abused. If your husband wants to abuse you, it will not
Mm-hmm.
stop that, but it gives you option. So it can no longer say, I'm staying because I can't take care of myself. You are staying because you want to stay.
Mm.
That is a different
Wow.
story. So you are staying. I'm like, I can't, like, now if you are on like on Facebook, I get to share people's stories, and it's always the same. I can't do this. I need this. I have not eaten. I am pregnant. I cannot afford to buy baby things. How can you be pregnant and you cannot afford to buy? But it's okay because, like I said, I
Mm.
wasn't born with a silver spoon. And even my mom, I remember my mom saying something like, when she when she had our twin sister, my twin siblings, that she went to somewhere, she was hungry, she did, like, she was starving, she hadn't eaten anything, and there was nothing for her to even eat because there was no food at home, like that. Like these things, it happens, and I know my mom, like, should, but I feel in this our current generation, there are a lot of things we could do better. But when those
Mm.
kind of cases come to me, I still find ways to help. And that is one of the reasons I feel everybody deserve or need to be empowered. Like, even if you don't
Mm.
have money, have enough to care for your family, to feed, to buy basic things of life. So I think that is just that for me.
Woo. Powerful. Powerful. In a society where job opportunities are scarce, how do you see the digital world shaping the future? of work, especially in Nigeria?
Like I said, you know, if not for like remote job, let me don't lie, there are no jobs. It's not like there are no jobs, but the amount of job is not enough to the amount compared to the amount of graduates schools are producing every year. So how many companies do we even have in Nigeria that can assimilate all the graduates every year? Yeah, they are just, and the government is not even focusing in creating neighbors or something like that. They are not. And even the ones that will be open, maybe there are openings in some places, you ordinary person may not even get to know about them. Let's say I have an uncle working in an oil company. Once there's an opening there, he would rather put his person, his son, his cousins, his anybody than you. So you, who is just an ordinary person, masses, you won't get to hear about such opportunities. And when you now look at yourself, you look at the skills you have, you know that maybe the only kind of job you can get is a job that will be paying you $30 per month, and that is not enough. That is a bag of rice in Nigeria is almost 50,000, 500. That is more than $60. Or let's say $60. Let's just put it $50 to buy a bag of rice. In
Hmm.
Nigeria, Nigerian minimum wage is less than $30. So how many company will even pay you such amount for it to, and you still transport yourself to work like that? So you just need to find a way to think outside the box. So thinking outside the box should be you learning skills that is not just acceptable within the Nigerian labor market but internationally acceptable, so you don't get to limit yourself. Now, when we talk about technology, we also understand that Nigerians, we are having young developers, people building products. So you acquiring those skills will also help you or give you the opportunity to be able to work within Nigeria with all those technological products or services that people are building. So that is just that. And for apart from people, a lot of my students, of course, we're not looking at Nigerian jobs anymore. But that doesn't mean some of us don't work for Nigerian jobs. It simply means that we work for Nigerian jobs, but with better salary, better benefits, and more. But then instead of you waiting, you should think global. And thinking global,
Hmm.
you don't just think global, you also go out there, work with all those global companies, learn some of the things they do, and you bring it back home and also do what you can reproduce something close to that. And that means you're also creating job opportunities. So I think that is how they should benefit Nigeria.
Wow. Brilliant. And I love the fact that you have students not just in Nigeria, but other
Yeah, we have
African countries. Even you have students in the United States, you have students in Canada. Really, it's you have a global thing going on. And I know that you've also won awards
yeah.
like Best Education Brands 2023, Best Technology Entrepreneur 2023. Those are great achievements. How have these accolades influenced your work and goals for the digital witch
You know,
support community?
there's something Nigerian used to say. They say, "To whom much is given, much is
Much is
expected."
wicked.
Right?
Yeah.
So, getting those awards doesn't just end in you getting those awards. It means that you need to keep growing. So even when you want to sleep, you remember that people are looking up to you. So you need to stand up and do something. So, and it's also kind of creates some level of trust. People get to know, oh, this is what she's doing. For her to be able to win this award, it means that she's good. So it's kind of help you want to do more and have people to also interact or come and join your class to see what is happening. I heard that she's a good teacher. I want to experience her. So I can no longer sit on the fence. So getting those awards will also help people who don't know who you are to get to know you. It kind of create this curiosity in their head. Who is this girl? Or they say, okay, there's this award I went for, award event I went for, and I won 2 awards. We're just few people that want 2 awards. So imagine, so people like, okay, how come she just win 2 awards? Who is she? What does she do? So it's great, that curiosity. And on the other hand, because you still want to remain relevant, you keep exploring, you keep building new
Mm.
products, you keep finding new things that need to do to just keep being afloat and also keep being at the top. Because of course, new people are also springing up, trying to do what you do, try to do, replicate what you do. So, but then you need to, focus on your own journey and find other things to just keep you ahead of the game. And God's Awards on its own plays a crucial role in it's to me, okay, let me just put it this way. To me personally, I think those awards just kind of a motivation to do more, and also like we're done for a great job, right? So I just that's just how I see it. That's just how I see it. Yeah, because I sincerely do not
Well,
want to
you
add more
talk
pressure on my head.
you
Yeah,
talked about motivation. You probably have mentioned it, but what keeps you motivated to continue empowering others through the digital witch support
first of all,
community?
what kept me motivated, first of all, is I don't know how to put it, but seeing the people who are winning, sometimes there are things that you need to experience before you understand how it feels. First of all, I can count more than 500 people in my community that I know personally that couldn't even afford 3 square meals. But these people, it is easier to believe that somebody who is earning 500K or $500 step up to earning $1,000, right? Or somebody who is making $3,000 was promoted and the person starts making 5,000. It's easier to believe. But when you see somebody who is a teacher and the person is earning 25,000 naira and all of a sudden he's earning $2,000 and the person was previously earning $25 a month, it is very real and
Mm,
very difficult to believe. So somehow, even me, sometimes even to tell those stories, they choke me. Like it chokes me to say because I'm like, God, it's unbelievable. But I'm seeing them. Is this somebody who is living in a very wretched, or someone who is living a very wretched lifestyle, buying a car, buying a house, relocating their family to the UK? Like I can literally say that 80% of the people who I knew that relocated last year out of Nigeria are my students. The
wow.
numbers are not hidden. I say it all the time on Facebook, meaning that if I like, they can debunk it, or maybe I can just tag all of them and they get to know. Come on, debunk it. Let me see. So seeing all these things is enough motivation. Like it's more like
Mm,
my focus is not the rich. My focus are people that are like me. Like it's like I'm speaking for my kind of people who
wow.
are incapacitated like me, like the way I was. Those who are living up just poverty, those who like they can't even like there was a time in my life that $1 million is like $1 million. $1 million is just $1,000. But like
Mm,
a time in my life, there was a time when I said, God, where can I ever touch $1 million? And look at, like, it's so funny when I think about it today. It's so funny. But look at students who are like people that they don't earn 20K, 25K, 30K, making millions monthly. So it's like
wow.
I don't think I need any other kind of motivation to live. I wake up every morning to their prayers. I say people, they are not just praying for me. Some of them, their family also call me on the phone to pray for me. Some of them send gifts. Some of them like it just makes me feel like I have created a ministry, and even if when I'm gone, I feel like my children will never suffer in this life, because once they say
Absolutely.
I am digital witch son or daughter, or I'm digital or lemonade son or daughter, I'm so sure there will be millions of people who are willing to put them through. Also, I just feel even if I don't get to enjoy all the benefits, I feel my children will, because make a no
Wow.
lie, I have really, 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 I am a community have really done enough for a lot of people. Like
You
a
su-
lot of people.
you are such a great inspiration. Great inspiration. My last question. Any future plans?
Yeah, I have a lot of future plans. Like there are some that I've already kick started. So I'm trying to this year, my goal this year is to collaborate with a lot of people, collaborate with
Mm,
a lot of trainers, to because I understand that I have a lot of students, and some of them are hungry to learn more, or they are
mm,
hungry to lynch down, like, oh, be an expert in a certain field. And some of them, maybe because they love my teaching style, they still want to remain in the community. So I'm trying to know, I'm already planning, because I have a handful of trainers already. So we are just creating content that will fit my own students. So the idea is to collaborate with more trainers to teach my students what I don't teach them, things that will make them be like, okay, like I start from basic. So after basic, you are making money. So it's high time you started something bigger or you dream bigger. So I want to bring in something bigger for those who are interested. It's not a mandatory class. And I'm also looking at building a software. There's this software I really want to partner with
Wow.
some developers to build. I don't want to mention the name or say what it does, I just don't. But it's a software that has been in my head since last year, and I really, really want to build on that. And I'm looking forward to gathering people that I can work with and make it a success and launch it latest any next year or this year.
Wow.
And I'm also looking at making digital reach an academy
Yeah.
whereby we have the training part, we have the support part, we might also have the recruiting part where companies that are in need of interns, those that want to do internship and all that can come and integrate our students after the training. So at the end of the training, they can come, interview people, pick their best bets, and integrate them into their company for a period of time. And maybe at the end of the internship, they can hire their best hands, something like that. So I'm still talking with some of my friends who are very good at organizations or doing stuff to know if we can come up with a roadmap that will help us achieve that as well. So these are the things I'm currently working on.
Brilliant, brilliant ideas, and I know you will achieve them all.
Amen.
Yes, I mean, just seeing where where you came from and where you are now, it's amazing. It's amazing, and it's very inspiring.
Thank
Well,
you.
where is digital, which support community? How can people find it? How can people connect with you?
Okay, so first of all, you can connect us on Facebook. Our name on Facebook is Digital Witch IT Support Team. On LinkedIn, it's Digital Witch IT Support Community. On on Instagram is Digital Witch. Digit underscore ta witch. Then my own account, personal account on Facebook is Ekwutosinam Suka. Then on LinkedIn is Cynthia Okeh on LinkedIn. And professionally, I didn't introduce myself as I'm also a customer success manager. So in case you need anybody to set up a team for you, I should be
Wow.
your go-to person. Onboarding specialist as well.
Oh my goodness. Ekwy. Ah, what a powerful conversation we just have had.
Thank you so much for
I want to
having
I
me.
want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. I know you're busy. You probably, you're about to teach your next class right now, but thank you. Thank you for taking the time to stop by and grace our podcast with your incredible story. And you know what? For your future plans and all, I want you to come back. Okay. I want you to come back and talk to us about it and see where you are with everything that you just mentioned. Thank you very much. Um, we appreciate everything you're doing. You're making a difference. You're impacting lives, and your story needs to be told. It needs to be heard.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
so much
everything.
for having me.